he's in, we'll get this started. What are you telling me, bro?
Yes, bro. What you saying?
Not much. Still not much. A day off. How you been?
I've been good, man. Just cooped up in the house, innit?
Yeah, it's them ones right now.
How you been, bro?
I've been good, man. I've been good. Just been active, like I always said. This time, I'm just trying to, you know what I mean, better myself as much as I can.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, yeah.
all right, sweet, man. Let's jump straight into it. What I'd say, just
Let's
give a little
go.
brief introduction on who you are, who you currently play for, and maybe what area you originate from.
Yeah, cool. My name's Tristan Abrahams. Play for Newport County now. Originally from Southeast London, Catford. Yeah,
Yeah,
currently
nice,
living in Wales.
nice one, bro. So, in terms of, let's take it all the way back to the beginning for you. Where did football start for you?
I've been playing ball from a very, very young age since I can remember. I've been playing for like my mum's always had me kicking ball. I've always had like links in my family to play. And then I think my first team I played was from six. I think I
Okay,
joined my first team.
yeah, that's
I
quite.
couldn't remember. I think it was a Sunday league team though, but like just calm. And then I went into Sunday football. I played for Red Lions in Bermondsey from, I can't remember the exact ages, but obviously from what I can remember. And then that turned into Brewing. And then so I've always been playing football. So
Yeah, nice, bro, nice. So, in terms of your grassroots experience, maybe talk us through how your process went before you got your first sort of trial. So, talk us through leading up to your first trial, what teams you might have been at, and kind of the standard that you was playing at in grassroots.
yeah, like I said, I was used to play for comparatively what I can remember was Red Lions, and we play in Blackheath at the Marathon Ground. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but
Yeah,
Marathon Ground, we'd play there, and like I used to play like up front. I used to just score bare goals. I just enjoy it. You know how it is that Sunday league football as a kid. You just enjoy it. It's
yeah,
all
no,
about, you play your games, come off, get your little chips and your sweets. But it was just about enjoying the game. And then
yeah, no,
I remember like after games and that there would always be scouts and that there and interest. And I remember Millwall were interested at one point when I was quite young. And then I went for a trial there. That was like the first place I went on trial at. And I went there and I got in. And
okay.
this I can't remember. This is like back end of primary school. I think this is.
So maybe year 5, year 6, so maybe
Yeah,
10,
yeah.
11.
Them times there.
Okay. And how was your time at Millwall and that experience for you?
If I'm being honest, it was horrible. Like I hated it. I nearly like fell out of love with the game because when down there, um, they had tried to play me left back, and they tried to
Okay.
feed into me like, oh, like you can be the next Ashley Cole kind of thing. And that's just not what I wanted to be. I just wanted to play up front. Like, I just wanted to score goals. So it got to a point where I was like, no, I'm gonna leave it. And then like I parted ways with them, and I went back to Sunday League football at Red Lions, and I played there, carried on playing there for a while.
Okay, so how long do you think you stayed at Millwall before you decided to go back to grassroots and
I think it was about a year. I was there for about a year. But
okay,
when I started to like play left back and that, I just didn't want to go to training. I didn't want to like in game match days. I weren't looking forward to it.
and maybe looking back now, do you think that even though left back wasn't the position you wanted to play, do you think that helped your development at all?
Yeah, definitely. Like obviously, from now being older and I look back at it, I can understand the coaching point of view of it because to be fair, like I still think I could do a job there. Innit? Like I'm strong, quick, got a left foot. You know what I mean? So but from definitely, if I could go back now and have my mindset now, it's something I would have taken on board and then just done it without complaining, and took what I could from it.
Yeah, no, definitely. All right, bro. So you went back to Red Lions, and then what was the process after that? Because I'm presuming you're about 12 years old now. So how long
Yeah.
did you stay at Red Lions before the next sort of trial came along?
So I stayed at Red Lions. That turned into brewing. So then we were at brewing. I was there. I was just playing. I was playing. And I remember Millwall tried to come back for me. They were like, "Oh, like we like him." Da, da, da. But it was a different scout. So that he hadn't known that I was there. He's like, "Yeah,
Okay.
he's a good striker." And I remember like the coach at the time was like, "Yep, nope, he's not coming back to you guys." Like he was there. He tried to play a left back on that type of vibe. And then but then, so yeah, I kind of brushed that off. Then I stayed at Bruin for a while. Then at under 30, back end of under 13s, I went to Leyton Orient. I had my trial at Leyton Orient, and I got in.
Okay.
That's like where my journey kind of started.
And how was that experience for you of going on trial to Leyton Orient and then obviously being offered? How did you feel when you got offered that deal?
I like you don't really like as a kid. I didn't really like understand it. If, you know what I mean? Like it was just it's academy football. It's what I want to do. I know it was like of a better level than I was playing at, and the standard of coaching was better. Do you know what I mean? So it was a good experience. Like, and it got me out of Southeast London. Obviously, I was traveling to East London after school and for my sessions and that. So it was good. I got to meet new people.
Yeah, and I
But yeah,
presume you made some good friends out of that, and you know what I mean. You have people that still to this day you talk to from there. So
yeah, definitely.
that's sick. So in terms of that now, we're at 13 and we're signed at Leyton Orient. What was the process like up until under 16s, obviously, because you know that between 14 to 16, you're all kind of fighting for your scholarship. So how was that process for you?
So for me, I was kind of lucky enough to be in quite a strong team at that time. The Leyton Orient team that I was in, I think the team didn't really change from under 14s through to youth team, but it was very competitive. A lot of people were worried if you're going to get deals or not, but because we were such a strong group, a lot of players did end up getting scholars.
Okay.
And but obviously, at that age, it was hard to see certain people that did leave. But yeah, it was a good experience to be fair, and obviously to get when I got my scholar, I was buzzing. Like you start to think like it's obviously you can actually be a professional footballer. I always wanted to be it, but you're a step closer. You know, you're starting to get paid and you're full time.
Yeah. No, for sure. So in terms of that now, you're at that scholarship age. Like you said, you're at Leyton Orient, you're enjoying your football. How was that 2 years of a scholarship, and when was the sort of age that you started to get to train first team? Because obviously, I know you started quite young.
So for me, like if I'm being honest, my time at Leon, my scholarship was quite difficult because obviously with that you start going into the mixed age groups of 2 years, your first year scholars and your second years. So as
Yeah.
a first year, I didn't really play much. Like I was quite in and out of the team. Um, but obviously you're grateful to be there. But I was in and out the team, and when I did play, like I enjoy it. But I didn't really get a run of games or so. So my first year, I kind of brushed it, like, and just hoping for the next year. Do you know what I mean? I
And
think I
how?
went on loan. Go on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, and obviously after that first year, knowing that you haven't played much, and you know that a scholar's only 2 years, how did that kind of make you feel, knowing that if I don't play next year, I probably won't get a pro here?
Um, for me, I always had that hope of the second year scholar because I had seen that at Leighton Orient, that's how it pretty much was. Second year scholars always had the priority to play in it. So
Okay.
I didn't really I wasn't really upset. Like I said, I was grateful to be there. So it was like just preparing myself to play within the next year. But yeah, and I think I had a
Yeah.
loan
No.
back end. I'm lying. I had a loan beginning of my second year scholar. I had a little loan, and
Okay.
yeah,
And
go on.
and how was that?
So
Obviously, that loan still.
that was a rough experience for me. Obviously, getting thrown in at men's football, um, and just to get the grasp of it, I didn't really play well. I didn't really have many good games. I didn't score many goals, so it was tough. I remember like I was on the bench for a couple games, and it was like it really hit home like raw, like this real. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like my second year scholar was definitely like one of my best years I had at Orient because it was just I was happy. I was playing well, scoring goals. We had the FA Youth Cup run, um, and then from I think I yeah in December I want to say December, October, December, actually November. Was it November? November, December. I got offered my pro contract.
Okay.
I got offered it, and I was buzzing like,
Bro, let me
yeah,
ask you
go on, bro.
this. Going back to your first loan, because obviously you was quite young when you had it. How was that experience of moving away from home? Because obviously being a young 17-year-old at the time, 18-year-old, that's a big like step to go and take. So how was that feeling? And obviously living alone maybe, or how, did you get
Do you
put
know
in
what
a
it
big
was
process?
with my first loan? I didn't actually have to move out, like move away or anything. I could still live at home.
Okay,
I was just travel. I was just traveling to the games.
okay,
I was just traveling to the games, and I don't think I trained. I think I trained a couple nights with them, or one night a week, or whatever it was at the time. So it wasn't too bad. I weren't like I was missing much, but I was still full time at Orient. I just train with them at night and then play games with them. But like I said, it was a difficult experience, obviously, to go into men's football and that type of men's football. It was very physical, so you don't really get that at under 18s.
yeah.
So
And
it was a
what
difficult
team was this?
experience. This was Cambridge City.
Okay, and do you know what league they were?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Okay, yeah. So I presume it's a decent level at non-league, but yeah, like you said, the whole experience and what did that kind of do for you? Even though you might have not at the time have seen a lot of the pros, what do you think going on loan so young kind of did for your game?
Definitely made me more hungry. Like I didn't want to play it. Opened my eyes. Like I don't want to play at this level. As bad as it sounds, it was like it gave me that hunger to kind of kick on and not to go back on loan there. I just wanted to start playing first team at Orient at the time. I was just
Yeah,
like, yeah, this is long. Like I don't want to do this.
cool. But yeah, so in terms of that now, like you said, 18's the second year was pretty successful for you, and then you got offered your pro. So in terms of that,
Yeah, got my offer, my pro.
being offered your first pro contract, what was the feeling like again? But also, what was the process like now being a pro and getting to train and play in the first team?
It was crazy because, like I said, it was like I had a good start to the season and whatever. And then I got offered my pro early, so it was just like at the end of a training session, like they just pulled the whole group and they said like, yeah, we're gonna offer you a pro. So then, like I remember, I had a spring in my step all the way home. So I got offered my pro now, and then at the time, I was contemplating whether I sign it or not because I didn't have an age. You know, at that young age, you're like, oh, like you don't really you start overthinking things. I remember at the time I didn't have an agent or anything, so I went through the process of um like started to talk to agents and stuff like that to make sure that everything was okay. So after that process was all sorted, and like you said, I started to now get involved with the first team a little bit more. Like everything just looked up. And at the time of the club situation, it was bad, and it was going into liquidation. We were being relegated, and there was a lot of like on the background of the football side of things. A lot of things were going wrong. But for me, on a personal note, it was one of the, like obviously the best years of my life with a lot of the other boys. Because like I said before, I trained Orient on back end of under 13s, and the team didn't really change all the way through. So that
Yeah,
was a lot. So all of us were on this journey together through to the first team, and I had seen a lot of my friends make their debuts the season before and that season. And then for me to now get the chance as well, I got my chance. It's like living a dream basically. I was with my
yeah,
friends and we're playing first team. It was like, what the hell's going on? Do you know what I mean?
yeah. No, for sure, bro. So in terms of Orient, you made a couple first team appearances there, and then did you go out on loan at any point again at Orient, or was your next move when you went to
So
Norwich?
yeah, I went to so when I made my debut. against Newport. I made my debut against Newport. Yeah, it was crazy. That game, Josh Koroma scored a hat trick. Like, it was a crazy game. Yeah, so we
Yeah,
played that game, and then I think it was the following game. I came on. I came on against Luton. We were playing Luton, and we were 1-0 down. And I came on, and then I scored. I came on at half time. I scored to equalize it. And then we got a penalty, went 2-1 up, but then they all equalised like at the dire moments of the game, so we drew 2-2. And then the following game now, it's a home game. Who was we playing? I can't remember who we were playing, but anyway, like this was like the first game all my family came to.
yeah,
And then I scored again, and we won that game. And then yeah, so obviously I picked up some form to the back end of the season, and that led me to go into the summer like very well. Even though we got relegated, it still went into the summer in a good position.
yeah,
So I went back to but like during the off season, nothing. I didn't have no contact with any clubs, and that it was just all hope that is that it possibly that I could get a move or kick on or whatever it would be. So I remember that off season, I trained real hard with Jaden. Me and Jaden went hard that off season. And then I remember we went back to that pre-season, and at the time it was a difficult time for the club because they were like still trying to see where they were going, what they were doing, if they were going to sell players, if they wasn't going to sell players. And I
yeah.
didn't think at the time when we first went back to pre-season, they said no, they're not selling any of the young players. So for me, it was like, okay, I kind of accepted it and just started to graft at Orient again, because I
Yeah.
remember at the time Norwich had put in a bid in, and there was a few other clubs that were interested in me, but Norwich were the only team to put a bid in, and Orient rejected it. They said
Okay.
like, no, like you're not gonna go. I think Orient put in 2 bids, they rejected both of them. And then so at this point I've just accepted, like, look, my fate is I'm gonna stay here. I'm just gonna have to kick on again, do well, and try and hopefully that we get promoted back into the Football League at the
Yeah.
time. So I turned up for a match day against a non-league side. We had a match, and then that game, I remember Stephen. I was at a. That's the day that he had. That's the day his bid got accepted to go to Brighton.
Okay.
And so at the time I was thinking, nah, what's going on? And they told him like, yeah, don't worry about the game, like just rest up because obviously you've got your move and that. So I'm thinking, whoa, I'm going into this game now. My head's kind of like spinning as if like, have they accepted his bid, but they've not accepted mine? Like, what's going on? So I ended up playing that game, and I think it was later on that evening or the next day, my agent called me and said like, yeah, like they've accepted the bid. And then yeah, that's like when everything kind of changed for me.
Okay. So bid's been accepted. You're on your way to Norwich. First of all, what was you feeling at that point? Obviously, I think Norwich back then were in the Prem, or was they?
No, champ. They were in the
They were
champ at
in the
that.
Champ.
Yeah, I think they had just been relegated the season before or 2 seasons before from the
Okay.
Prem.
But yeah, so going from League Two slash conference to now, I'm going to a Championship club. What was that feeling like for you at the time?
I remember like I had mixed emotions because obviously my initial reaction was like, oh, like wow, like it's a dream come true. But then I will never forget. It got to the point where I was moving down there, like I was going to sign the papers, and I went down there, and at the time I think my mum was on holiday, and so yeah, like for me, I'm really close with my mum, so I'm moving down there. I didn't know, like I didn't see my mum or nothing, so I was at the time I was worried, like is this the right move? I started panicking. It's my first time moving out of London and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And then I remember I went to sleep that night. I woke up next morning to go sign the papers, and I felt good. Went there, signed them. And when I signed them, took my pictures. Like I met a few of the boys. Like it was crazy because obviously as a young kid, you always dream of playing at the highest level. And for me, it's like this is the next step for me. I've left, like you said, a conference team. I'm now signed at a champ team, and I'm just dreaming of all of the best things that could have possibly happen from there. So
So yeah,
yeah.
So yeah, bro. So you're at Norwich now. Did you stay at Norwich or did you go? I know you went out on loan back to Leighton Orient, but
Yeah.
did you do that straight away or did you have a bit of time in Norwich?
So basically, in my deal, that was like part of my deal. Basically, that if they accepted the bid, I'd have to go back on loan to them. So like I was buzzing with that because obviously I'm still getting the chance to play first team football. Because I know if I went to Norwich, I'm playing like it would 100% be in the 23 straight away
Yeah,
and so on. So I thought, it's great for me. I know all the boys at Orient. I'm comfortable there. It's like home, and I'm gonna get to play first team while still being at a bigger team kind of thing. So I'm thinking, yeah. So let me kick on now. And I remember it just pre-season. It was everything I thought it was gonna be. Like after I'd signed, everything was cool. The boys were still cool with me and everything. And then the first game of the season came now, and walked into the changing room, and I wasn't in the squad. I was thinking, what's going on here? I'd played every pre-season game, then I weren't in the squad, and from there, like my head kind of went. So I watched the game, and then so I'm thinking, cool, maybe I got to train harder, do a little bit more. Second game come, wasn't in the squad again, and then so because of that, Norwich just recalled me at the time, and
okay.
it's because they don't think it made any sense for me to be there.
So how did it feel? Like obviously, like you said, playing pre-season and then walking into the first couple games and you're not even like no one's guaranteed to start, but to not be on the bench and to not
Yeah,
be in the squad, like that feeling must have. Do you know what I mean? Especially because Orient was the club where you kind of started things, like you said earlier.
yeah, definitely. For me, like it was difficult because, like I said, I'd played a lot of the preseason games. I thought I'd done well. I scored some goals, and then the when I walked in, I didn't see. I thought like it was a bit crazy to me the fact that I wasn't even involved.
Yeah.
So at the time, I kind of took it personally, but obviously now I've been in the game a little bit longer. I know the manager's got to do what you've got to do in it to keep your job. So it was just one of those things.
All right. So cool. Yeah. So you get recalled back to Norwich. Again, did you now stay at Norwich for a little bit and play some 23s maybe and try and work your way in at Norwich, or did you go on another loan straight away?
No, so because they had recalled me, I couldn't go to another club, and I couldn't play any first team football until January.
Okay.
So I stayed there. I played 23, played 23s, and
And
then
how
I
did
just
you
played. I
how did
ended
you
up. Sorry, go
how
on.
did you find it in the 23s when you first went? Because obviously that's your first.
It
I
was
presume that yeah, I presume that Leighton Orient you didn't play much 23s because you made the step up to first team kind of early. So
yeah.
how that experience for you of playing some 23s football?
So obviously, because I'd come from Newport County and playing at like a lower standard um in the youth team setup. When I went there, it was obviously like it's youth team football, but they'd been coached better from a younger age, and a lot of the boys technically were very good. So the standard of the games were like high, but and the tactical side of the game was very good. Do you get what I mean? So for that, I learned a lot from that type of thing. But I found that the tempo was slow because I had played some first team minutes at the
Yeah,
time. I found that the tempo was slow, and for my strengths of my game is a lot of like I'm quite physical, and I want to run the channels, and I found that we wasn't really doing that. It's a lot of slow football, ball to feet, and so for me it was quite a frustrating year. It was good, don't get me wrong, it was good, and I learned a lot, but I feel like I've learned so much more with my time playing men's football than I did playing the 23s football.
yeah.
Um, so yeah,
So
so I done my season there. With like I didn't train first team. Um, I didn't really train first team my first season. I didn't really have a sniff around it. I think they see it as like my first year to kind of get used to everything.
so yeah, in terms of that, you've finished the season at Norwich for that season. What was the thinking going into the next season? Was it try and kick on this year and maybe play first team at Norwich, or was it go on a loan and get that men's football in if I can't get it at Norwich?
Yeah, like for me, my mentality was like, I've signed at this club, like I want to play here. I'm gonna do anything I need to do to play. And at that season, the first season I was there, the first team hadn't done too well. So when I'd watch their games and I'd think like I could play, like I'm ready to play this football. So that off season, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go hard again, make sure I come back as fit as I can, as sharp as I can, and do whatever I can to be ready to play men's football. I didn't really think of a loan at the time, even though other people would had spoken it, like, oh, like you could go out on loan next season. For me, I always just wanted to play for Norwich because I'd been
Yeah,
so comfortable there. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to play at that higher level. So I went back to football expecting to try and kick on and kind of be given a chance in the pre-season. But so when we've gone back now, I was with the under 23s for the first week, but the under 23s come back a week before the first team do,
okay.
if you get what I mean. So we were back a week before, and by the end of that week, when the first team are coming back in, like Norwich put to me like, "Oh, we want you to go out and learn and get some experience and whatever." And that's when I signed for Exeter.
Okay, so another loan move. How was this one in terms of moving away again? Is it in your head? Are you a little bit frustrated maybe at the fact that you're going on another loan, or was you happy to just go out and get some more football in?
So at the time, I was just like, if this is what they think is the best the right move for me, I'm gonna do it. Like I want to play men's football, so I'm being given the opportunity. Exeter, like it's a good team. It's a very good team, and it's another league club. So I thought, you know what, let me go down there, do the best I can, and prove to like Norwich that I'm ready to play. So I went down there, and to be fair, it was I had a very very good time at Exeter. Like all of the boys were good. Um, like the setup was good. My location where I was staying was good. Like I was happy,
Yeah,
and then we like obviously started the season very strong. Scored on my debut. Everything was cool. I enjoyed it a lot, but getting closer to like January now, I had started to play less and less. So then yeah.
cool. So January comes, you're you're not playing as much as you thought you maybe would have after having the good start you had. Did you end up staying at Exeter, or did you part ways and go back to Norwich, or what was the process after that?
So with that now, I had assumed that I'd be staying because I hadn't had any talks with Norwich about going back or anything else, and then I got a call from Norwich saying, um, yeah, like we've got another club for you. So I said, oh, who, whatever. They said Yeovil Town at the time. Obviously, Yeovil's not far from Exeter, so I said, okay, I'd have to think about it because I was so comfortable and happy at Exeter. It wasn't
Yeah,
something that I'm not gonna lie about and that I jumped at. But then when I had sat back and thought about it, I spoke to the gaffer um, at the time, and I spoke to him, and he said like, "Yeah, we want you down here. We feel like you can affect everything." And I thought like the team was going in the right direction. I thought, yeah. So I went down to Yeovil at the time it was, and they were in a quite of a difficult situation, like a bad run of form. So but I enjoyed it. Like I went there and I played, so that's all I wanted to do. Do you know what I mean? So I went
yeah,
there and I started to play. So when I started to play, um, we didn't win too many games, but I was playing. I was playing well. I scored a couple of goals, and that was another good experience as well. It was a tough one because I felt like I was like the bad luck charm because obviously I'm in another team battling relegation. Um, but yeah, it was difficult, but definitely I learned a lot from it. And it was quite upsetting when we got relegated.
yeah, for sure. I can imagine. But yeah, so you've gone on two loans, and like you said, you're kind of happy because you've played some football. What was And obviously, you stayed at Yeovil to the end of the season. So, what was the next process? Was it go back to Norwich the following year and try again, or how was that process for you?
So for me, like unfortunately, my deal had just come to an end. They
Okay.
had another option, but they decided not to take it out. So unfortunately for me, I was in the. This was like I hit kind of rock bottom. I was I was clubless for the first time ever. I didn't have a
Yeah.
club, and it was summer now, so there was no you can't go on trial nowhere. You can't. You know what I mean? So I was literally just trying to stay fit that summer and just try and understand what I'm gonna do. Um, but yeah, I was in a difficult place. I didn't. Not a lot of clubs wanted to gamble signing me, so um, that didn't happen. Then I was rumored like I'd go to some clubs that wouldn't happen. So I ended up having literally going nowhere till I think it was the week and a half before the season started. That's when I signed at Newport. I know that the first team and only team to gamble on me. So
Okay.
that's when I signed for them.
Okay. So, did you kind of go for a trial period with Newport, or they saw that you was putting in the work and they kind of, like you said, gambled and just offered you something?
Lucky enough for me that they actually just offered me something. So
Okay.
yeah, I went down there and yeah.
And how was that feeling after obviously a couple weeks, months before no club to now another club's kind of giving you a lifeline to play your football?
I was just like honestly just so grateful because like I said, I was at a low point. I was like, like wow. 2 years ago, I thought my life had changed forever when I signed for Norwich. Then I was stuck in a position I had no club. It was crazy. And then so I was just mad grateful. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go here. I might not play, but it's opportunity, it's a contract. And when I do get my chance, I'm gonna try and take it.
Yeah, definitely, bro. So you're at Newport. Obviously, you're there for pre-season. How did your pre-season go with them?
So like I said, I signed with them
Oh
a
no,
week
yeah,
and
yeah,
a
sorry,
half.
sorry. You
So
started
I
very late.
signed a week and a half before the season started, and then
So in terms of
like
that, did you feel like you was a little bit behind in terms of preparation for the season, or because you was doing stuff outside, you felt ready?
if I'm being honest, like I was kind of grateful because I don't really like preseason. Like preseason is normally tough. So when I went there, I made sure that I was fit enough. Like, do you know what I mean? I
Yeah,
was fit, I was sharp, like I was ready. It wasn't a matter of fitness, but it was like I was grateful that I had missed all of the preseason runs and whatever. So when I went there, like we had I don't think I'd done 2 days of running, and then we had a game. We had a game against a non, and then we had a week of the lead into the match,
yeah.
to the first game of the season. So yeah, that week it was like I was still, finding my feet at the club. But I always felt loved. Like all of the boys took me in.
Mm.
So yeah, so that was good. So then first game of the season came, and yeah,
So, so in terms of this now, you're at Newport, and this season, uh, how many games have you kind of played? Have you been in and out? Have you been a regular? Have you?
so lucky enough for me, I've been a regular. Like I've played a lot more than I initially thought that I would. I honestly thought I'd come here and wouldn't play much. I just found my feet, but it was a lifeline. I kind of saw it as, but then I came in and lucky enough, the gaffer put a lot of faith in me from early. I made a lot of appearances off the bench, and then I got a few starts, and it kind of went from there because we had a really good start to the season. So, pardon me, but yeah, we had a really good start to the season, and then so then from there, I was lucky enough to get a lot of football. I played in like all of the cup games. I was playing in most of the league games. I'm making a lot of appearances, scoring goals.
So that at this point, obviously this is very recent. How's it affected your confidence? Has it brought it back to where it needs to be? Has it, because obviously all the times you've had good highs and you've had a couple lows in your career so far. So I'm sure this run of games has kind of helped you.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like being at Newport has definitely been a blessing because it's allowed me to play a lot of league football at a young age, even though I'm getting older now, but still I'm quite young for the amount of football that
Yeah.
I've played. I've got quite a lot of league experience, so I've been grateful for that. And so for me, it's just literally been a blessing. The fact that I'm here and I've been given this opportunity, and it's like a chance to show people that I am good enough and that I've been doubted before. So I always, like I just use this as an opportunity to kind of showcase myself and put the most in. Someone's
Yeah.
having you off there, bro.
Having me up in it. It's listen, the barbers are all shocked. Like, please don't get at me. But yeah, bro. In terms of the future now, going forwards, what's kind of your aims, your goals, your aspirations? What do you want? Or for especially for next season, what's your kind of targets?
So like, my short term goals is I just want to get Newport as much like success as possible. Obviously, the aim is to get promoted and to get as high as possible and to do the best that we can do. But my personal long term goal is I want to play at the highest level. Like I believe that I can. Like any kid does. Like I want to play at the highest level. I want to play in the Premier League. I want to feel the Champions League nights. So
Yeah, no, bro. I've kicked ball with you. I've had the pleasure of doing it, and trust me,
back
you're a
during a
very
couple of
decent player.
times.
But yeah, in terms of some advice now, bro. So obviously, I know there might be a couple young up and coming footballers that might be in a good position, that might be in a position where they need some advice. What would you kind of say to them if you had the chance to speak to them?
Just that football is a matter of opinions. Honestly, don't be disheartened from what anyone says to you. As long as you believe in yourself and you work hard, you believe in yourself and work hard, and honestly, you can be anywhere. You can do whatever you want. You can play at whatever club, because, like I said, it's a matter of opinion. Someone's gonna put their trust in you. One person might not like you. The next person might think you're the next best thing. So it's all about belief.
Yeah, no, for sure, bro, for sure. So yeah, growing up, who were your kind of idols on the pitch and off the pitch?
So for me, it was always like John Barnes, Didier Drogba, who else? Like the
I
Wayne
ain't gonna lie,
Rooney's.
that drug bar, that's your sort of striker.
Like, I love Drogba still. I love him. Like, I love Drogba still. And who else? Fernando Torres. I used to love when he was at Liverpool.
Yeah,
Like I
crazy.
used to love Fernando Torres still. I've always idolized strikers like all the times and just try to learn from them.
Yeah, no, well, bro, you're obviously you're a striker yourself, so you kind of want to emulate your game off of people that are in similar positions to you. So, you know what I mean? But in terms of off the pitch, anyone off the pitch you think that kind of motivates you and inspires you?
Definitely, Raheem Sterling, like of his work of over the last few years and his journey, from being similar kind of background to now playing on the highest levels to what he does within his community, like for charities, on the pitch, off the pitch, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So people like Raheem, Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, the way he works, like his work ethic is 24/7. Like asked me to put him in a hotspot, but yeah, like yeah, I mean,
yeah, no, for
but
sure, bro, for sure. All right, cool. So in terms of obviously the situation we're in, it's not the greatest right now with the whole COVID stuff. But how have you been kind of keeping fit and keeping active, or have Newport sent you like a schedule that you follow daily?
yeah, we've got a little program that they send through weekly that we've got to do, but I've definitely been doing like my own bits, like a lot of home workouts, a lot of ball in the garden, just trying to keep sharp, not trying to lose the touch, and yeah, like a lot of runs, just what I can, to be fair, like just trying to stay focused more than anything. I think it's more of a mental thing for me that that I'm staying active and don't get caught in that that lazy mindset. So
Yeah,
yeah.
no, bro, Tristan, thank you so much for jumping on tonight. Because obviously,
Been a pleasure, bro.
like I say to everyone, it's your time, and you don't need to, you know what I mean, come and speak to me. So thank you so much for jumping on. For everyone at home that's been watching, thank you. And I hope that some of the words that Tristan said has motivated, has inspired you to, if you're a young footballer, or if you're not, if you're whatever aspirations you have in life, hopefully you can take something away from what he's saying. Because as you can see, football, there's highs, there's lows, there's good times, there's bad times, and it's about how you get through them and how you come out on the other side. So again, everyone at home, thank you. Tris, thank you for jumping on, man. Appreciate
Yes,
it.
bro. It's been a pleasure, my guy.
You too, man. Have a good night.
Uh,